speak any English. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Well, it's time to give my opinion, even though nobody asked for it. As you guys know, I am, or if you don't know, I am originally from El Salvador. I was born there. I was brought to the United States. Yep, just like those kids that are being brought up here now, that's the same way I was brought up here when I was 3 years old. My parents worked for a long time. They were able to get their documentation. They became residents, then citizens, then not too long ago, I became a citizen. And why am I talking about this in a trucking channel? Because my dad was a truck driver. I actually had the privilege of teaching my dad how to drive a truck because I've been driving for 25 years. I think he drove for about 15. Anyways, I taught him how to drive. The man knew how to drive. Knew how to drive a semi. He knew how to read the signs, but he didn't know how to speak the language correctly. He had a lot of times where he was put in situations where he would get nervous and he couldn't understand anything he's saying. A lot like, the president's wife, that you can't really understand what she's saying, but if you really pay attention, you can understand what she's saying. So kind of like that. I'm going to put it in those terms. So what I see that's going on right now, it's really just an agenda that's being pushed to put people against each other. Because this whole notion of having to read and write and all that stuff, that law has been a law for a very long time. And right now that, things are getting more put in our face, social media, stuff like that, it's becoming easier to push an agenda to scare people. Now, I think this whole thing, is just my personal opinion, that this whole thing, that law that was just signed by our president, is just smoking guns, or smoke and mirrors, I guess, not smoking guns. It's just a show, just so people can, still rally behind him and follow everything that he does and say. Now, let's get to, do I believe that you should be able to read, at least read in English, or the language where you live? And yes, I agree. You should be able to read everything, because there are, their stop signs are pretty much universal. I know in Latin America, pretty much just like here, they look about the same. A lot of the signage is about the same. So it's not about the signage. It is, but it's about the ones that are warning, the ones that they have over the highway or at construction sites that are warning there's a potential hazard ahead of us. Those are the ones that we need to know to read. And that's why I agree that you should be able to read those things. As far as speaking the language, well, why? If there are translation apps, why not be allowed to use the translation apps to speak it, or to be able to, articulate whatever you need to a police officer or a DOT officer? So that part right there, meh, because I know, because I've experienced it, through my dad. So he knew how to read everything. Man never got into an accident. He always did what he was supposed to do. Drove trucks safely in Houston through traffic day in and day out for 15 years. Because about 13 years. 2 of those years he did OTR, but the other 13 was local in Houston, driving a 389 Peterbilt, 18-speed spread axle reefer trailer, which is crazy. I don't know why that's the kind of trucks that company bought, but that's what they delivered in. So, anywho, to me, just smoke and mirrors is just to pin everybody against each other, and the right and the left and all this other bullcorn that's going on in this country, which I don't believe in either one. I'm more, I guess if we talk about voting, more of an independent, but as far as like left and right, I could care less. Now, a lot of you are excited and so happy that things are just about to change, that the world is about to change here in the United States, that there's going to be all this mass, pulling over all these trucks, and everybody's going to be getting pulled out of these trucks. They're going to be shutting down all these trucks. What do you think's going to happen when that many trucks start getting pulled over and then freight stops getting to where it's supposed to get to? Do you think it's really about the people that are getting caught? No, the people in power that all this stuff is going for, Walmart, FedEx, whoever it is, Amazon, once their products stop getting moved, who are they going to give a call to? You already know who they're going to call. And they're going to continue, they're going to change the law or just close their eyes, because that's what's been going on for years, right? Just close their eyes and continue on business as usual, as it is right now. So, yeah. Do some things need to change in the trucking industry? Yes, but I don't think it's the drivers. I think it's the corporations that run the trucking industry. Just my little humble opinion that you guys didn't ask for. Letting you know. Some of you are going to get upset. I really could care less. Some of you are going to agree. Appreciate that for being open-minded. And some of you might just, I don't know. Be good, be safe, and as always, fam, God bless, and a peace.
Speak English or get out. That's pretty much what the new law says about truck drivers. You need to go ahead and speak English in order for you to drive a truck. But what do you think is going to happen now with these facilities, these shippers and receivers? Let's say there are going to be some drivers that are just going to go ahead and disregard that law 100%. But what if the shippers and receivers then start saying, hey, we're not going to break the law. It's the law. You need to speak English. Otherwise, you're not going to get loaded. So do you guys think that only DOT is going to go ahead and enforce this law, or are shippers and receivers also going to go ahead and put their foot down? And it might not stop there. We've all been there in some truck stops where somebody doesn't speak English and they're holding up the line, and it's just like a big mess just because they don't understand what's going on. Could it be that also truck stops are just going to go ahead and flat out refuse to help you out? I mean, wouldn't you be helping a criminal at that point? I'm just curious to see how far this will go. What are your thoughts?
Nuestro. Our.
Our.
Mineral. Or.
Or.
O. Or.
Or.
Remo. Or.
Or.
Nuestro mineral o nuestro remo. Or.
Se dice en inglés oveja.
Sheep.
Sheep, ok. ¿Cómo se dice enviar?
Ship.
Ship, ok. ¿Y cómo se dice barco?
Ship.
Ship, ok. ¿Y cómo se dice barato?
Cheap.
Sheep, ah chinga. ¿Y cómo se dice sábanas?
Sheets.
Sheep. ¿Y cómo se dice hojas de papel?
Sheets.
Sheep. Ah chinga. A ver entonces, ¿cómo se dice? La oveja envía sábanas y hojas de papel baratas por barco.
The sheep ship cheap sheets and sheets by ship.
Chinga tu madre, coche, así cuando voy a aprender inglés.
Hey, what's up everybody? A quick update on our inspection, the English language test. So one of my friends just got pulled over in Missouri on I-70, and he just told me, and I thought I should just share with you guys. So he got stopped for the inspection, and there was a DOT officer. He walked up to him, he did all the inspection, whatever he had to. And then after that, he says that you have to take an additional test, and that's the English test. So how the test works, so first of all, they ask like 3 questions about like where you coming from, where you heading, and where you did your cycle. So these are the 3 questions he asked, and then the time he done with that, and after that he made him write down like 2 paragraphs, and that was be like, my name is this and that, that's where I'm from, and the company he's working for. So right now that there's a possibility that any state you get stopped for the inspection, you have to take additional English speaking and the writing test, and that's official now. Before I thought they're really not gonna do it, but it's official. They're doing everywhere, all over the country. But I just want to let you know about like what just happened in Missouri with one of my friends. So I thought I should share with you guys, so maybe it's gonna help some of the drivers on the road. So there's also inspection going on I-70. So if you're someone who don't want to go through the inspection, just avoid the I-70, okay? And I would recommend skip the wait station. You can skip the I-70. You probably take some different highways if you wanted to. But there's a crazy inspection happening on I-70. Actually, 3 of my friends actually got pulled over today. So good luck on the road, and be ready for the English speaking and the writing test, okay? Have a good day.
No.
Don't worry for me, everything is still the same, like when you were here. Yes.
Let me share why I believe that Donald Trump's executive order requiring truckers to speak English is both nonsensical and economically irresponsible. First of all, you have to realize that more than 200 to 245,000 trucks come in from Mexico into the United States weekly. So it's unenforceable because Mexico is not going to enforce it for the United States. So that means there are 200 to 240,000 trucks coming from Mexico weekly. Now, to enforce it would mean that at the border, they would have to see if the people speak English. This would then slow down imports, which slows down consumer spending, which ultimately affects the economy, because the economy is based on consumer spending. And this is how you get an inflation on top of an inflation on top of an inflation.
I'm Officer Gerald. I pulled you in to do conforming literacy test on you, see if you can speak English.
I'm doing fine there, brother. I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing fine.
Okay, if I can get you to spell Wednesday. You can spell Wednesday, I can go and get you up out of here. Just need you to spell Wednesday for me there, driver.
Did you ask that there old Joe Biden, do you know how to speak English? Did y'all ask Joe Biden that? You goddamn leotards, you goddamn Democrats.
All right, sir, no time for the hostility. I just need you to spell Wednesday, and I'm going to go and get you back on about your way on down the road. Now, can you spell that for me?
Spell Wednesday? W-I-N-D-S-A-Y. You goddamn liberal.
Sir, can I get you to step out the car for me real quick?
You's a goddamn liberal, boy. Telling you. Step out there, I ain't stepping out a goddamn thing.
Broker is calling to make sure you're speaking, reading, and writing English before you can cover their load. That's right. I got me a load coming out of Iowa, going back to Texas. I shouldn't have took it because it's a long wait, but I heard Texas and I said, fuck it, I'm going home. Because I'm going home before this blitz comes. I don't got time for that. But anyway, broker called to see if I spoke English before he let me cover this load. I asked him why, and he said because they're starting to make sure that the loads are going to be able to get where they need to go without any problems. Makes sense to me. Yeah, I read, write, and speak English pretty damn good. It's no problem. But it's a heads up. If you're booking these loads, you might get a call from the broker to make sure you can cover it. Make sure you by speaking English. It's changing times, man. I don't disagree with it. I'm all for it. Call me all you want. Hell, you should have gave me more money for being able to speak English. But all that's about to change. Because you're going to have to. Because you got 250,000 illegal immigrant CB1 visa drivers on these roads. They can't read, write, or speak English. Then they're about to go. God bless Trump for making this happen, for real. Y'all have a good one. Be safe.
To every truck driver across the country in the United States of America, it's official. Starting June 2025, every truck driver that has a CDL in the United States of America must be able to speak the English language, write the English language, and read the English language, starting in June. Now, a lot of people will ask the question, how does a semi-truck driver not know how to speak or read the English language? How do they drive? Well, here's the thing, right? In our country, there's so many schools that will cater to every language out there. It makes it easier for you to get your CDL, right? Now, what happens is in June, once you get pulled over and you're not able to communicate with the law officials, they will put you out of service. And the next step is you will have to contact the company you work for, and they would have to send somebody out to pick up the truck that also obviously has to speak and read and understand the English language. Now, you still have time to learn, right? It's going to be a little bit difficult because obviously a lot of people thought it's just something in the news, but it's a...
All right, so let's talk about this new speak English or park the truck rule floating around. Apparently, the Department of Transportation has decided that the #1 thing keeping America's highways safe is grammar. Not potholes, not distracted drivers scrolling TikTok, not those people who camped in the left lane going 60. Nope, the real menace? Truckers who don't speak perfect English. Now, don't get me wrong. Communication on the road is important. You don't want a situation where the dock manager says back into Bay 3 and you end up in someone's employee parking spot. But here's the thing. Truck drivers are the backbone of America's supply chain. They keep food on shelves, fuel in gas stations, and yes, your precious Amazon packages arriving on time. The idea that some of these seasoned pros could get sidelined simply because English isn't their first language, that's not just bad policy, it's bad business.
This is my coolant, this is my sight glass. I will never remove this cap while the engine is hot.
With a car, they need some type of probable cause to pull you over. As a truck, it can just be 100% random. And they can just say, hey, let's inspect the vehicle together.
As of right now, they're not prepared to speak English when they're driving a truck because nobody's requiring that of them, right? They speak English to pass the test, and then after that, they're not required.
We have to let the examiner know that they are clean.
You gotta check if it's clean,
Proper
color, not breaking, or
not missing. He passed the first test on the second, and well done.
Russell Rocha has been a truck driver for 17 years.
We need to open the door to opportunity for everybody.
While he says there is a need for driver, Rocha sees the logic behind the executive order signed by President Donald Trump on Monday.
If you can't read or understand a certain sign that's a little dangerous, it could affect all of us.
The new order requires truckers to demonstrate proficiency using the English language before getting behind the wheel. According to the executive order, proficiency means drivers can read and understand traffic signs and communicate with traffic safety, border patrol, and agricultural checkpoints, as well as others.
Es una ley inefasta.
It's an awful law, Yoman Rivera told me.
En mis 15 años como camionero.
In my 15 years as truck driver, I never had an issue with English. Rivera claims he recognized the signs and communicated with officers with his limited English. First off, but according to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, there are documented cases where drivers' inability to read signs and speak the language may have contributed to a series of fatal accidents.
We have to watch out for lives. I mean, that's most important, right? It depends on how many people are affected and how many people decide to exit the industry because of this.
Rivera says he's already seen many truck drivers putting their trucks on sale.
Couldn't believe it. Going through Arkansas, I thought it was a joke. Got stopped at the weigh station in Arkansas and was handed a piece of paper and it says, "Can you read and write English?" I said, "Yes, sir, I sure can." He goes, "Can you read this?" So I read it to myself, and I was like, okay, I started handing it back. He goes, no, read it out loud for me. So I read it out loud for him, and, it was short and sweet, no problem. He goes, "Now, can you write this for me on this paper?" And I did, and there was a whole bunch of people that had already written on it. And I was actually witnessing people in handcuffs that had been pulled in. And I was like, "What's going on?" He goes, "Oh, we've come across now that if you cannot read or write in English, that it's a $5,000 fine. And if you have a company in Arkansas that employs people that can't read or write in English, it's a $10,000 fine paid on the spot. If you cannot pay it, you're automatically arrested and lose your license." What a shocker.
No, don't worry for me. Everything is still the same, like when you were here. Yes.
Just like that. We're done. That's it. 14 years on the road, or 14 years driving. Time to hang the keys up. Literally, right there. Hang them up. I'm done. I think this was my final trip. I know this was my final trip. No more truck life. No more road life. Ready to go home and see what's in store. Y'all be safe on those road drivers. I'll still be here, but I said I won't be in the truck. I'll be home. So follow, or keep following me, see what I got going on. Should be an interesting journey. Peace. One door closes and another one opens. Out of here.
Hey, I want to document my journey on leaving a good paying job and living my best life. I know you might be asking, why would you want to quit a good job? Well, one thing, I make $30-something an hour. I'm in the union, dump truck driving, highway work. It's time consuming, that's why. I put in 75 hours last week alone, 76 hours to be exact, and brought home a $2,900 check. That was gross. After taxes, it was $2,000. And that made me realize, damn, they just took $1,000 of my money for taxes that I had to work the time. I put in the time. So right now, it's 2021. This is my first day recording of me wanting to leave my job. And the main reason why I want to earn my time back. I want to buy my time back. A job is not everything, folks. Some jobs lead you to the grave. And if you like me, if you're a working weekend dad, you know, you got a kid and you want to be spending time with them and traveling and doing all other stuff, don't make money your priority. Get enough money, save enough money, and learn how to get out. Follow me on this journey, on this documentary that I'm gonna do, showing if you scared to leave your job. I know a lot of people say, you know, that they want to always ask why you leave a job, or give me encouragement to leave a job. Well, what I'm gonna do is document it. You know, I got some investments. I'm trying to get money out of my house with a cash out refi, and let's hope it goes well. And that's gonna put a big lump sum of money in my pocket for me to go ahead and leave this job and not work for nobody ever again. Thanks. Just keep watching, subscribe, whatever you're gonna do. You know, and say a little prayer for me. All right.
Well, I don't know if you don't know, I'm a truck driver, right? Owner-operator. And unfortunately for a while now, how can I say it? A trucking recession. Truck drivers are falling like dominoes, giving up on the business. Today was an unusual day. A few of my friends, you know, they post their trucks on Marketplace. They just want to get rid of it. They just want to move on. You know, they're not too many people are looking at, you know, in general, nobody wants to buy. So, like I said, today was a little unusual. A few of the guys called me up and said, why don't you take the trucks and give us a few dollars and pay us the rest in payments? And I was telling them, like, what you're going through, I'm going through the same way. So if I was to take the trucks, I'm gonna park them, and they're gonna be like table ornaments. They're gonna gather rust. You can't afford to hire no drivers because it's not worth it. That's number one. There is no work. When is this gonna end? I have no idea. This trucking recession, I guess we're gonna call it. I don't know. And the few guys that are doing okay, the only reason they're doing okay is they're doing Amazon Relay. If you don't know what Amazon Relay is, it's like an app where you pick certain moves that you want to do. And the only good moves on that app are called crosstowns, intermodal work. That's the only thing that's moving these guys.
Think about the ripple effect. It's not just the DOT enforcing it. If shippers and receivers start refusing to load or unload drivers who don't pass their English check, we're talking about serious delays, freight sitting in warehouses, perishable goods spoiling. That brand new TV you ordered for the big game? Yeah, it's now stuck in Kansas because someone didn't pronounce bill of lading correctly. And don't even get me started on truck stops. We've all been in one where things get chaotic when there's a language barrier. But imagine if they take this rule to heart. No English, no service? Suddenly, we're not just talking about delays, we're talking about drivers unable to shower, refuel, or even eat on the road. How is that helping anyone?
What up, TikTok fam? I know y'all ain't been seeing me, but this is why. This is me cleaning out the truck, y'all, with the company I was working with. And sad to say today, I'm done with trucking, y'all. I quit with this company. I'll make another video on why I quit with them, but that ain't for this video, but I'm done. This is my truck that I had parked in my yard. I'm cranking it up. This is my first truck that I bought. I love it. I made a lot of money out of this truck, and I am selling it to this Mexican dude. Now I'm moving on, man. I'm done with all this trucking shit, cutting my losses, and I got another venture I'm moving on to, but I'll let y'all know what's going on next.
It's gonna come a time when you out here and you gonna be like, man, I'm done. I quit. I can't take no more. And that's the time where trucking defines you. You know, you see a lot of people out here, man, they glorify trucking. They making videos, it's fun, it's funny. But in all actuality, it's not all fun and games, man. You're going to have times like today where I feel like I'm done, man. I just want to go home and be in my bed. I want to be asleep. Listen, I'm a human at the end of the day. And I do get fed up with trucking sometimes. I do feel like I want to quit sometimes. But do I quit? Nah. See, trucking, it got a weird cloud over it, right? You got people out here laughing, they joking. They never show you these times where they out here and they
Here's the bigger picture. The trucking industry has been struggling with driver shortages for years. It's an aging workforce, and younger generations aren't exactly lining up to spend weeks away from home living out of a sleeper cab. Immigrant drivers have been stepping in to keep the wheels turning, literally. If this law drives them away, pun intended, guess what happens to shipping costs? Yeah, they go way up. And when shipping costs go up, the price of everything else follows. So is the goal safety and efficiency, or is it just another way to gatekeep and shrink the labor pool? Because if the real issue is that you want drivers to understand instructions, there are 100 better solutions. Bilingual signage, standardized hand signals, translation apps, all of which cost less than losing an entire segment of the workforce. At the end of the day, this could go one of two ways. It could be a minor policy shift that barely makes a dent, or it could snowball into a full-blown supply chain disaster. Either way, the conversation needs to be bigger than just speak English or else. It needs to be about what keeps the industry moving, safely, fairly, and without cutting off the people who literally keep this country fed, fueled, and functioning. And honestly, if the government wants to crack down on something that's really slowing us down, maybe start with the left lane campers. We can all agree on that one.
Another worst week for the trucking industry. I'm actually sitting in Seattle, Washington right now without a load. I don't have no load right now. I dropped my load 8 o'clock in the morning and it's already 1 o'clock that I'm sitting here waiting for the load. A lot of people been asking me, does it gonna get fixed? Is it gonna get better? I have no fucking clue what is gonna happen because day by day it's getting worse and worse. I have no clue. I haven't seen trucking industry like this in the past 10 years. This is the worst year for the trucking industry. Worst year. And when I came to the truck stop, I reserved a shower. There were 23 people in front of me in the line. 23 people. It's been 4 hours I'm waiting for the shower. And they still 3 people ahead of me. Still. So you can imagine that how many people are sitting at this truck stop without a load. All the truck drivers, we have nothing else to do besides taking shower all day. Pray for everybody. Stay safe on the road.